Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is August 28th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can clearly see the state of California right here where I'm circling. Some monsoon moisture across portions of Arizona, and here is our cutoff low out over the Pacific Ocean. So let's back this up to yesterday and let this play through, and you see this cutoff low doesn't go much. It drops south, kind of sitting and spinning out here off the coastline, but eventually this is going to get its act together, and it is going to start ejecting towards the Northern California coastline here, and this is going to cool us down a bit. It could actually bring some precipitation with it as well. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast. We'll try to see if there's any kind of offshore wind events coming up here, or what kind of monsoon moisture is going to try to make its way back into the state of California through the extended forecast. Here is today. It does include Flagstaff and Phoenix, the SPC, general thunderstorm risk. There's the state of California as I'm circling. Put that into day 2, and you can see Flagstaff just kind of clipping Phoenix, and includes Tucson. And day 3, you notice this starts to surge a bit more moisture back towards Las Vegas, maybe some of the extreme eastern, southeastern portions of California, some of the desert areas. More on that here as we go through the video. So taking a look at that cutoff low, you can see it right here in the center. There's little Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left. Here's the state of California, that system moving through the Pacific Northwest yesterday, spinning out here, and then it starts to make its way towards the coastline here as we go on in through Sunday morning, would be shown right about here. So this could be popping off some showers across northern, maybe central northern California and up into Oregon as we go on into the later portions of the weekend. This swings through, and then we're going to build the ridge probably on the backside of that again and continue to warm right back up after that upper level low departs. So this is looking at the European. Let me scroll through here. So I'm going to go through today. This is Wednesday. You can see you can't rule out some activity maybe down into Baja here, extreme western Arizona. It shows maybe a shower or something popping off, a thunderstorm here across the Sierra Nevada, but not too big of a deal. Here we go through Thursday. Here's Friday here. We start to get a little bit more moisture back into the area, and that's why they did include some of Las Vegas on the day 3 with the SPC. So here goes Saturday coming up as well. So that upper level low may start to trigger some of these showers here across some of the area, and we're going to take a look at that in a bit more detail as we go through tomorrow, which will be Thursday. Now taking a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly. So as we go through the upcoming days, you can see we are slightly above average for a lot of the state, except for the immediate coastal areas. It's kind of been a common theme as we've been going through the summer months. We scroll on in towards the end of the weekend, and you can see the upper level will arrive and start to cool us down for some areas. Again, central, northern California, just for a couple days or so, and then we quickly bounce back with some of that heat and may even bring it back a little bit stronger, or at least, with the anomaly here, it's going to be above normal for some areas. As you can see, even some of the coastal areas starting to warm up here, and it's showing a little bit of sign of some offshore flow at times. Not looking at a huge event just yet, but we will be watching this, and I'll show you another map on that here in a moment. But you can see as we go through the first week of September, pretty darn right warm here across a lot of the West Coast and much of the state of California. I mean, scrolling through here, and it's just kind of a little bit intimidating looking with all this heat. I mean, you can see some of these areas 15, 20 degrees above average for this time of year. So if we take a look at the GFS, I want to scroll through this, and we can kind of see that system rolling through. The ridge builds here, and then this upper level low will cool us down for a couple days here. And you can see this GFS has it diving right into the Northern California coastline here. And again, cools us down for a couple days. Then we warm right back up with the ridge redeveloping here. You can see a pretty stout ridge here developing across the western portions of the USA, all the way up into Alberta as we go through the first week of September. And yeah, that's pretty impressive looking here. You can see there is some troughing out over the Gulf of Alaska, but that's a long ways away, and the ridge wants to hang on all the way through the extended forecast on the GFS there. So that's something we'll be watching. Now taking a look at about 5,000 feet, 850 millibars, the state of California would be right there. Here's the state of Hawaii on the bottom left. We have, I think this is Gilma, and yes, Hector out there. And if we put this into motion, you can see these tropical systems moving towards the state of Hawaii, no threat to California. But what I want to kind of highlight here is that when we go on in towards next week, there goes the upper level low in the meantime. That's going to cool us down a bit. But then as we go on into next week, some of these winds do turn offshore at times. You can kind of see it here across Southern California, a little bit of this activity going on. We'll be watching that. It doesn't look like any huge Santa Ana wind event or anything like that, or any Diablo wind event, offshore wind event. But this could be enough to really warm up some of the coastal areas. So that's something we'll be watching screen here as we go. And you kind of see this easterly surge here across some of the southwest. Could be getting some monsoon moisture back into California, and maybe increasing the monsoon a little bit here across the southwest, as it's starting to get a little bit late in the season here, but we've got probably another surge in us or so across the region. Now, taking a look at Tropical Storm Gilma out here, this is moving towards the Hawaiian Islands. A little bit interesting looking. If you're flying out there from the west coast here, just keep this in the back of your mind. It might bring an increase in some moisture there, but it's not a big wind threat, maybe a little bump in the waves. So taking a look at the GFS, this is the precipitable water in California is right here. Again, tropical storms moving off to the west. And then you can see some of this moisture surging back into California at times. And then as we go on through the extended forecast, you can see again, it looks like maybe some monsoon moisture trying to make its way back into California and Nevada as we go all the way on into the extended portion of the forecast. It's a ways out there, so we're not going to get caught up in that too much here. But we'll take a quick look at the European. This is yesterday afternoons. It goes out about 10 days. So here we go into Thursday. This is Friday. There's Saturday here. You can see maybe a couple thunderstorms across the higher terrain, the peninsula ranges here. And the upper level low will be probably triggering some showers here as we get closer on into Saturday and Sunday coming up. And then we look well off into the extended forecast. And European, again, kind of teasing with the monsoon moisture as we go through the end of next week. But again, we'll watch that closely as we go. Here's the 6 to 10 day. You can clearly see the west is well above average, or not well above average. The chances for above average conditions are likely here across much of the west coast. This is not a temperature forecast. This is just probability of being above average for this time of year. And here's the 6 to 10 day, kind of below average signal here. And then we've got the above average to the 8 to 14 day. Look at that, just dominance here across much of the west. And then we go 8 to 14 day precipitation. Now, like, this is likely to change here. I wouldn't put much stock into that. But if we look at daily 2-meter max temperatures, you can see, look at Redding, 100 degrees today. And then you can see some areas down towards Bakersfield, 99, San Joaquin Valley, 101 there. Sacramento, upper 90, so pretty darn right warm. Here we go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The warmth is going to continue, as you can see. And then we go to Sunday, and we start to cool things off with the arrival of that upper level low, at least a little bit of a break here. And then we go through Monday, check it out, back down into the 80s for the Sacramento Valley. And then we start to bounce things back again next week. Yeah, we bring the heat back, as you can see, 102 for Bakersfield. And of course, some warm temperatures at this time of year across some of the desert areas. This is an interesting map here. This is the average temperature for California for the first 25 days or so of August. And you can see, of course, the desert areas are warmer, some of the San Joaquin Valley, some of the northern portions of the Sacramento Valley. But the coastal areas, of course, this time of year are definitely much cooler. And this is the mean temperature. This is, the average of the high and the low. You can see some of the areas in Northern California coastline versus some of the desert areas. You can guess where Death Valley is, right where I'm circling here. And you can see the Sierra Nevada and the Cascade Range as well. So looking at sea surface temperature anomalies, some of the central coast that's a little bit below average. Looks like a little bit of upwelling going on here, but we have some pretty above average temperatures out across some of the Pacific Ocean. So something we'll be watching as we get into the fall and winter months. Anytime atmospheric rivers come, they can feed off of this warmer than normal water if it is there, and we start getting some of these mid-latitude cyclones down into the area. Nothing to worry about yet, of course. And looking at surface smoke, put this into motion for the next 48 hours. You can see again the coffee pot fire producing smoke out there, but not too bad as far as the entire state is concerned overall. But yeah, here we go, upper level low, bring a little bit of a cool down here, and hopefully some of this monsoon moisture can make its way back in. We'll continue to watch for offshore wind events. It's starting to become that time of year where we start to get them, but nothing stark and dramatic yet in our future, just yet. But we'll continue to watch that day by day. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Otherwise, we'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.